This is the story of the day my family and I came face to face with a baby bear and his mother.
They woke up early with no big plan, just a simple need to breathe cleaner air, escape the city noise, and give their 3-year-old daughter, Lily, a morning that felt slow and real. Ethan tossed a small backpack over his shoulder, water, crackers, a banana, a thin blanket, and an extra jacket, because the mountains changed their mind about weather without warning. Claire brought a little camera she rarely used, but that day she insisted. "It's nothing special," she said, checking Lily's shoes. "But I want to remember it." The hills were wrapped in bamboo and mist. It had rained overnight, and the world still looked freshly washed. Leaves dripped in patient rhythm. The air smelled like wet earth and green life. Lily walked carefully, amazed by everything. A bright stone, a puddle with a perfect reflection, a leaf bigger than her hand. "Look, Mommy, water on the ground," she whispered, like she'd discovered treasure. They chose a short, family-friendly trail near a bamboo corridor where the stalks leaned inward, forming a quiet tunnel. It was the kind of place that made you lower your voice without thinking. That's when they heard it. A small sound, thin and uneven, like a whimper that didn't belong to any bird. Not loud, not dramatic, just pleading. Ethan froze. Claire did too. Even Lily went still, her fingers tightening around her mother's hand. "Did you hear that?" Claire murmured. Ethan nodded and pointed to the side of the path where the bamboo grew denser. The sound came from there, faint but persistent. They didn't rush. Ethan stepped closer slowly, pushing aside wet leaves with care. Claire lifted Lily into her arms, instinctively protective. "Quiet, body," she whispered to Lily, and Lily nodded with wide, serious eyes. Ethan crouched at a safe distance and looked through the stalks. And there it was, a baby panda, tiny, soaked, and trembling, curled against a tangle of roots and slick leaves. Its fur looked more gray than black from the rain. It made a soft, tired cry, then tried to crawl, as if searching for something it couldn't find. For a second, Ethan's brain refused to accept it. It felt like a documentary scene that had wandered off the screen and into their morning. Claire's hand flew to her mouth. Lily leaned forward in her mother's arms, voice barely a whisper. "Baby, sad," she said. Ethan's eyes swept the bamboo immediately. A baby panda meant one thing: the mother could be close, very close. "Okay," he breathed. "We don't touch, we don't get closer, we keep this calm." Claire nodded, swallowing hard. Every instinct in her wanted to scoop the little animal up and warm it. But she knew enough to understand the danger, both to them and to the cub. Helping, in this moment, meant doing less. They backed up a few steps. Ethan pulled out his phone with slow movements and searched for the local wildlife hotline posted on a trail sign near the entrance. Claire kept Lily quiet, pressing her close. When the operator answered, Ethan described everything calmly: location, trail markers, the cub's condition, and most importantly, "We haven't touched it. We're keeping our distance." The operator's instructions were immediate and firm. "Stay back, stay quiet, don't offer food or water, and be prepared for the mother to return." So they waited, and waiting was the hardest part. The cub's cries came and went, growing weaker. Ethan watched from a respectful distance, heart tight in his chest. Claire tried to distract Lily with a small toy from the backpack, turning it into a quiet game on the damp ground. Lily played, but her gaze kept sliding back to the cub. "He's alone," Lily whispered, like it was the saddest fact in the world. Then the wind shifted. A deeper rustle moved through the bamboo, heavy and deliberate. A few stalks swayed. Something large was coming.
Ellie, look at the pretty bamboo.
Ethan lifted his head
The baby
slowly.
panda's sleeping.
A mother
But I wanna
panda
see the
emerged
panda.
from the
I know,
corridor of
sweetie.
green,
But we have to
wet
be very
fur
quiet.
shining, movements controlled but urgent. She paused, sniffing the air, reading the world in layers of scent. Claire went completely still. Lily clutched her mother's shirt. Ethan raised a hand, signaling them to step back. No sudden motion, no running. They retreated just a little more and stayed quiet. The mother moved straight to the cub. The cub cried louder, not in fear now, but in relief. The mother made a low sound, soft, almost like a rumble, and nuzzled the baby, licking its head, checking it with the precision of instinct. Then she pulled the cub close against her chest. Lily let out the smallest breath. "Mommy found him," she whispered. But the moment didn't feel safe yet. The mother lifted her head, listening to something far away, an engine maybe. Her posture tightened. This was still too close to a public trail, too close to noise, too close to people who might not stay calm. That's when the wildlife team arrived. They didn't come rushing in. They moved like they belonged to the quiet, hands signaling, voices low, steps careful on the wet ground. The team lead, Dr. Lin, observed first from a distance. The mother's breathing, her alertness, the cub's weakness, the risk of a sudden panic run. Ethan spoke briefly with Dr. Lin, explaining what they heard and what they did. She gave him a quick nod of respect. "You did the right thing," she said. "Staying quiet matters more than people realize." The team discussed options in hushed tones. If the mother could move on her own, guiding her back into deeper bamboo would be ideal. But the cub looked exhausted and chilled. And with more hikers arriving later in the day, the edge of the trail wasn't a place to gamble. They chose a careful intervention, minimal stress, maximum safety. Using gentle positioning and simple visual barriers, they created a calm pathway. Only if needed, they prepared a very light sedative, not to knock the mother out, but to ease her tension and prevent a panic sprint. Ethan and Claire watched from far back, Lily in Claire's arms, all three of them holding their breath as if sound itself could break the fragile peace. Within minutes, the team secured both mother and cub safely, keeping them together as much as possible. The cub was quickly checked, temperature, breathing, hydration. Weak, but alive. Claire's voice shook. "Is he going to be okay?" Dr. Lin looked at her steadily. "He has a good chance," she said. "Because you didn't touch him.
Cuidado,
Because you
minimizem a
didn't
vibração.
crowd them.
Entendido,
Because
Dora
you
Lin.
called right away."
Ótimo.
The
Agora
team left
tranquem e
along the
vamos.
trail, transporting the pair to a nearby base for warming, fluids, and observation. Then a planned release deeper in protected habitat, away from roads and heavy foot traffic. When it was over, the bamboo forest returned to its quiet drip and whisper. Ethan sat on a rock and finally exhaled. Claire hugged Lily tighter. Lily kept looking toward the place where the mother disappeared.
Hey, it's okay, Lily.
"Daddy,"
I'm right here.
she asked
I'm
softly.
scared, Daddy.
"We helped the
I know,
baby."
sweetie.
Ethan
But we're
rested
safe
his
together.
forehead gently against hers. "Yeah," he whispered. "We helped the best way,
Why is it
by
so
staying
foggy,
calm
Daddy?
and making space."
It's the rain,
Later,
sweetie. It makes everything
Claire
calm.
turned on her camera, not to film the pandas, not to turn it into
I
a
like it.
spectacle, but to capture
so
Lily's
quiet
small,
here.
serious face
The
as she
fog is
said,
hiding the
"We stayed
animals."
quiet, so the mommy could
That's
find
okay.
her
It's
baby."
peaceful.
And somehow, that was the whole lesson. Simple enough for a 3-year-old and big enough for the rest of their lives.
We didn't touch him. We stayed really quiet. And then the mama panda found her baby.
Thank you for listening to the story until the end. If you enjoy respectful wildlife encounters, real rescue work, and the quiet science behind protecting animals, please like this video. It helps it reach more people who care. And subscribe so you don't miss the next story in this ongoing journey with pandas and the people who protect them.